What is up, guys? So tomorrow I start my first day as a police cadet, and I wanted to make a video going over the hiring process, what I went through, and tips and advice for anybody that's trying to become an officer. So a little background about me. I applied for 5 departments and had 2 conditional offers, and there were 3 departments I withdrew from. I'm a Navy veteran and I also have a degree. So I might split this into maybe 2 or 3 parts because the hiring process is kind of long. But I'm going to start off with the application process and the testing phase. So the application process, it's like any other application process, to be honest. The only difference I would say is with the police department, some of them, like, they ask you all your background stuff while you're applying. So one of them, the application was maybe like 2 pages, 3 pages. And then there was one where the application was like 20 pages because it went through the entire background package. My advice for that would be to print out your applications after you complete them. That way you have that as a reference to make sure your stuff matches, just in case you randomly remember something later on and they do ask about it. You could be like, oh, yeah, I forgot this when I was doing the application, but I remembered and that's why I changed it, because they might question you if you change certain things during the application process. The other piece of advice I would give is to apply for maybe 3 to 5 departments. I wouldn't go over 5 because then you kind of seem a little bit needy and they might question that. But 3 to 5 is kind of a sweet spot so that you have different options, and also do research about the departments, the sizing, the city, the budgets, all these things, because those could be big factors later on. There was actually one department that I withdrew from because they gave me a conditional offer, but their department was kind of new.
It surprised a lot of people.
The department's set to launch tomorrow, despite the fact that some think they're not ready. Local 10 News investigator Jeff Wines here.
I think it would be prudent to rush the department. There's a lot of things that need to be done.
I think we're jeopardizing public safety. And for my own peace of mind, I think we should stick with BSO for at least 6 months.
A grant for bulletproof vests was approved last night. The town had already purchased patrol cars. Officers had been identified but were only hired after the budget was approved this week.
And they had like 30 officers, and they had told me that I would have to pay for my own academy, and then upon completion they would hire me. And I'm like, if you can't even afford to send me through the academy, why would I want to work at this department? Another thing is some departments are really big and they have maybe 2,000 officers, 500 officers, 1,000 officers, and some of those departments also have a lot of different teams. So they could possibly help you advance in your career because there's different teams you could join, but some of them could also hurt you because it's so competitive and there's so many people there. So there are benefits to smaller departments, there are benefits to bigger departments, there are benefits to like peace officers versus sheriffs. You just have to kind of do your research and figure out which route you want to go, and then apply to maybe 3 or 5 of the police departments you narrow down to. All right, so once you pass the application phase and you get your call, they're probably going to send you into the testing phase. The testing phase consists of usually a written exam and like a physical exam. The written exam, for some departments, if you have a degree, they waive it. I had most of mine waived, but there were 2 that wouldn't waive it. So I had to take it, and honestly, it was just like a basic like comprehension test. Like it was like basic math, sentence structure. You had to write a paragraph, like they gave you like a police report and you had to write a paragraph explaining what's on the police report. So it wasn't really that hard. And then as for the physical part, so every department has different physical standards based off of maybe the county, the state, whatever requirements they have to meet. Sometimes it's based off of what police academy they're sending you to. So my first one, I had to do obstacle course, and then I had like 5 different, like, I guess, things that you had to go through. Like I had to jump a wall and run like 100 meters in a certain amount of time. I had to like do a body drag within a certain amount of time and all that stuff. And then after that, it was like a half-a-mile run. Another one that I did was just like an obstacle course, and it was just timed. and you had to meet whatever time. Some of the times I will say are like very generous, but the better your time is, the better it looks, because they're going to look at that and see how much effort you put in, and that could be in your favor if you maybe test lower in a different topic, or maybe if your interview is not as good, it kind of balances out. So I would say give it your all for the testing phase and see if you could get pushed into the interview phase. So for the interview phase, I'm actually going to put that in the next video. So if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe for more. I am going to be documenting, I guess, my journey through the police academy and field training, depending on how much I could disclose. I haven't completely reviewed the social media policy for the department that I'm going to be working at, so I have to kind of look into that, but I'm going to try to put out as much as I can on the process and my journey.